So recently I remodeled my bathroom. Not because I wanted to, but more or less because I had to, because I had some floor issues I had to take care of. And since I did that, I've got some extra wood left over. And I'm going to see about building a frame out of some of this wood I've got. So I think I'm going to use this barrel right here. I'm going to turn this into a compost barrel. Originally I was going to make a water barrel out of it, but since I've gotten this barrel, I've actually picked up a water barrel, so that's another project I'll be doing soon. So this is the scrap I've got left over. Some of these pieces are actually are new, so I should be able to build something out of that. And then I got some of this leftover siding over here from where I had to take the wall apart back over there. And I might be able to build something out of that too. But once I get this back over here painted, this upper piece, I gotta get that painted, and then I'm gonna set up my water barrel right here. And get that all into place. That'll probably be next week sometime. All right, so I got all my boards cut up. I got 4 2x4s, 2 2x6s, and 2 other 2x4s. Those are 3 foot. Those are 40 inches, and those are 2 foot. Now I'm going to build a frame to stick the barrel on. All right, so what I did here is I put the 2 2x4s together like so. So it makes like 1 2x4. And then right in the center, dead center, I put 1 screw so I can make an X pattern, like so. The barrel up here, and I'm gonna adjust the width on the thing. I wanted to point out, you see the ridges on the barrel here and here? That's where I'm gonna put my rollers. I'm gonna put 1 roller here and 1 on the other side, and that will kind of help keep the barrel in track. So it doesn't want to wobble side to side when you're rotating it. All right, we got our rollers on. I got these rollers at Okay, we got our rollers on. I got these rollers at Harbor Freight. Now they're like $2 a piece. They weren't very expensive at all. We've set the barrel up and we got the width where we want it. And what we've done, we put a little mark down there on the X so we can put our bottom boards on next. And that will secure this from collapsing on us. All right. So here's the barrel up on the thing. You can see where the rollers are. And you can see where they it's hard to see, but you can see where this ridge is. Right here. And then that roller just lines up on the outside of those ridges. Now, I can just roll this around for my composting. And all I gotta do now is cut the door in and make a latch for it. Ta-da! So what we ended up doing is we got some foam tape. We're filling the gaps on the side. And then we got a little latch to latch the door down. We also drilled and put hinges on the inside. So we got two there, 2 there, and there, and there. Now these are stainless steel hinges, and this is just a latch from a screen door. And that is our compost barrel. So it's all set up. Now we're going to move it over to the other side so where we can start composting. But that's the easy way to make one if you happen to have a 5-gallon barrel. Now, if for some reason this thing starts to walk, I may have to put, if the barrel starts walking back and forth, I may have to put some boards here just to kind of hold it, keep it from moving side to side. But now we're ready to compost though. A simple, easy way to make a barrel. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, me and my dad put this together. Now, we just made a cross X pattern with the boards and then tied the tops together. We had to put a little spacer because of the way the cross X is on the board there. And then we put a couple of rollers in here, right here, for the, so we can turn this barrel. And this is a compost barrel we made that we're going to start using for composting. It turned out pretty good. I have to change the seal on the barrel, which I got up here right now. I like the door and everything, but the seal doesn't seem to seal very good. So I got some rubber instead of foam, and I'm going to change that in hopes that'll help freaking seal the thing up a little better, or helps, you know, it'll seal it better for us. It did rain the other day. I got a little fig tree here. I got to get it out planted. It's a little barrel. I think I'm going to plant some potatoes in this barrel this year and see how that does. So last week my dad gave me a hand on building this chicken coop behind me. It's hard to see. I'm going to put the camera around here in a minute. But we got that all built up. Well, actually, the chicken in. I got the coop. We can get like 6 more chicken. Over on the other side, the blackberry try to build trellis. So these are my blackberry bushes here. So hopefully this weekend I'm going to put a post right here, and then I'm going to put another post at the end and build a trellis and move my plants so these kind of stand straight up and down. And then over here in this little blank spot right here, I'm going to start planting raspberries, and then I'll take and tie off that trellis and come down and put another trellis, because if I'm right, I don't know, you guys will leave a comment if you would. The blackberries like the shade a little better, and I got this big old shade tree right here that'll kind of help that out a little bit. But I do want to get some more plants in my yard this year, and then I have to come over here, and I still have to trim up my grapes, which I'm hoping maybe this weekend or next weekend I'm going to do. And I have to rebuild those trellises. All right, so I am going to start digging my hole for my trellis over here. Get this all set up. Now, it just rained yesterday, so the ground's pretty soft, so it makes it a little easier for me. Alright, so I dug this hole down about 2 foot. Got my little level on here. This is going to be my first post. I'll pack this in. Normally you would concrete this in, but I'm not going to. I may want to move it in the future sometime, so I'm just going to pack it in with dirt and set the next pole on the other side. I'm going to turn my handle upside down just to kind of pack that dirt down by the post here, or my shovel upside down. So I can get that all packed down in there tight. Okay, and that is my first post set. Once I get this trellis set up, get my lines ran, get my bushes up, then I'll come back through and till the spring right along the edge of the trellis, cutting the roots so the bushes don't grow out, but just upwards. All right, so there's my second post hole. I also dug it down about 2 foot. I got my level on it. And I'm getting ready to set this post. Hopefully, all this set up and it'll work out well. Yeah. Found my shovel. Okay, there's my second post. Now, over here, I don't know if you can see it, I got a little plastic owl. Let me turn my little camera here. Right there. I'm gonna end up putting him up on top of my post there, and hopefully he'll oversee my berries. And then from this post here, probably about where this fence post is here, I'll probably plant my raspberries. So I'll have blackberries over there, raspberries over here. I'm about ready to put my first trellis board on. Alright, I've cut this at 32 inches. I'm going to center it on the board. I'm going to put it about 16 inches off the ground. Then I'll come up another 16 and put my second board. So I can run 2 sets of trellis lines down through here to kind of hold this in an upward formation. It's on there good and solid. I'll drill holes in both ends of this, probably a little closer to the center, actually right in here somewhere, and then I'll run my lines down to that one. What I'm going to do is find the center of my board right here and just put a screw in it so I know where the center's at. And I'll come up here 16 inches, like so. And then I'll just put my board right on that line. Set it up with the post. Put one more in there. Alright, it's not going to turn now. Alright. Okay, as you can see, I got my second post on there. I got them on both sides. I'll rotate this just a hair so you can see both of them. Now, I left some room on the top. I don't know how tall these bushes are going to get. I don't think they're going to get all the way up to the top of the post by no means, but there's some extra room up there for something. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put another board across here and put some plants above it or something. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, that's the basic trellis. We'll have to, I'll get the stringers up now. Mr. Owl guy for the time being to keep an eye on my things so the squirrels don't steal them. You think with Dixie the Wonder Dog, the damn squirrels wouldn't be in my yard, but they tend to mess with her quite a bit. So anyhow, I'll get the stringers on and we'll continue on. All right. So what I've done is I've marked these off at 6 inches here on each post there, and I'll do the same down there. Now down here I'm going to put a U-bolt or a clasp and a ratchet. And down there I'm just going to put a pipe through the back of it just to hold it in place. And then I'll string up a stringer across here to set up my trellis. So I will get drilling and we'll see what happens. I got this little piece of pipe here and I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to run my wire through it to hold it on the back side of it. Just like so. All right. Let's run our wire through here. Yeah. Here like this. I'm going to loop it around, tie it off back. So that way when I pull or ratchet it, it'll sync up on it. Or cinch up on it, sorry. Just trim that little piece off there. This back through. this out. This is about it for the first wire. And get these bushes up off the ground. My blackberries won't rot. All right, we got that back end in over there. And we'll come back around here and I'll show you how we're going to ratchet this up. So I've got my little ratchet gear here with my wire on it. I'm not going to do it too tight. I just want to keep the bushes up. I don't need to pull it tight. Cut this extra off here. That hold my bushes up in place. And I'll do the next one up here on the top. And then these bushes will actually start to grow up like this. And they won't be on the ground all the time. That way my blackberries won't rot. It's already up off the ground, even better. Now, I'll go ahead and put the next line in, and then lift it up a little more, and we'll do the same on the other side. Now, if your bushes seem to be getting too full, I move this back 6 inches here, but I can always come over and drill another hole and move my trellis over one way or another, however I need to do it, depending on how the bushes are. As summer, winter comes, the boards will stretch and drop. That's why I got the ratchet on there. So as this wire stretches, I can always just take another notch up just to kind of pull it tight. All right, as you can see, I've got the second line in now. I'll do the same on the other side. Now, I kept some of these a little bit on the lower side. I may move some of those back down a little bit. But I've got some of these on the higher side, depending on how thick the branch is. And I'll try to get them to come up. I may end up moving it and putting another set on the outer end just to lay them down just a little bit so they ain't so far in the air. But it is winter here and they're going to go dormant, so we'll just wait and see this spring how they do. But I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then I'll show you how that looks after I'm done with all that. All right, there we go. Got pretty much all the blackberries up off the ground. So this year, you ought to do a lot better. Last year I lost a lot of them because the ground was just rotting them out. So that looks pretty good to me. Now I'll do the same thing to my grapevine and behind me. And then I'll do the same thing over here when I put my raspberries in. Hopefully this year that will produce a lot of blackberries. These blackberry bushes are going on their 3rd year, so I'm really kind of hoping they'll come all together this year. Until next week, this is Sweet Nana's Farm saying goodbye. Have a great week.